There's a lot of confusion in the market. If you don't have a laser that has any research behind it and you're selling a heating device, you're going to say more power is better. Longer wavelengths penetrate deeper. There's two classes of laser with the FDA: photochemical, which is visible, which is non-heating. So we were the first one to get one through the FDA in 2002. We had to do 2 blinded controlled clinical trials. There's photophysical, which is infrared, which is heat. They're substantial equivalents to heating pads, which were grandfathered into the FDA in 1976. As of this date, there are no heating lasers that have ever submitted to the FDA to get a new indication. So they're all approved for the same thing: topical heating and muscle relaxation. Biochemical, I'm going to get into that a little bit, kind of like how drugs work. So if you can look at photochemical, photophysical, and biochemical, that's kind of what this presentation is going to be about. And I'm ended up with the research that we're doing. So why a green-violet laser? Only visible lasers create photochemistry. This is extremely well published. Infrared lasers absorbed by water. As the water starts vibrating, it starts creating heat. So there are 2 different mechanisms. The reason why you don't see Erchonia get into biomodulation, because there's so many different ways that these devices work. And the only real credible research, in my opinion, is visible lasers. We're here at Erchonia, we can manufacture anything that we want. Early on, we kind of played around with infrared lasers, but we didn't really see much. So if you're looking at a laser or you're on anybody's website, everybody's going to tell you that they stimulate cytochrome C oxidase. It's kind of like the golden term that everybody likes to use. If you look up the top left chart, you're going to see the absorption of complex 4, and you're going to see it's got a peak of about 630 nanometers. So, and if you look at infrared, it doesn't stimulate complex 4 very well. So then, okay, what is complex 4? There are 5 complexes in your electron transport chain. Complex 4 is right before complex 5. So no one ever wants to talk about complex 1, complex 2, and complex 3, which if you're just going to stimulate the end of the complex, you haven't touched the other 3, you're probably not going to look at a clinical benefit, which is one of the reasons why we came up with this laser. And if you look at 800, 900, and 1,000 nanometers, those stimulate complex 4. As you can see, it's quite a bit less than red laser, but they do it as the tissue starts to heat up. So what we've been teaching for the last few years is to start looking at the electron volts, or how lasers work. They work through energy. If you see violet, it has 3.1 electron volts, green 2.4, red 1.9. To create a photochemical effect, you need at least 1.7 electron volts. So this is irrelevant of power. If I turn the power up on my laser, all I'm doing is throwing more photons. If they don't have any energy, they're a low photon infrared laser. You cannot change the electron volts in the laser by throwing on more power. All you're doing is heating up the tissue faster. So they work completely different.